Hey friends, welcome back to the last two chapters of my Stroke of Insight by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Okay, this is so exciting. I love the fact that this book is not very big, because then our accomplishment of completing it is like so easy. So if my audio and visual are off, I'm sorry. I'm upgrading my equipment very soon. Okay, so we're just finishing this up here. 19, finding your deep inner peace. This stroke of insight has given me the priceless gift of knowing that deep inner peace is just a thought/feeling away. To experience peace does not mean that your life is always blissful. It means that you are capable of tapping into a blissful state of mind amidst the normal chaos of a hectic life. Cohesion through chaos. That's where it comes from. I realize that for many of us, the distance between our thinking mind and our compassionate heart sometimes feels miles apart. Some of us traverse this distance on command. Others of us are so committed to our hopelessness, anger, and misery that the mere concept of a peaceful heart feels foreign and unsafe. Based upon my experience with losing my left mind, I wholeheartedly believe that the feeling of deep inner peace is neurological circuitry located in our right brain. This circuitry is constantly running and always available for us to hook into. The feeling of peace is something that happens in the present moment. It's not something that we bring with us from the past or project into the future. Step one to experiencing inner peace is the willingness to be present in the right here, right now. The more aware we are of when we run our loop of deep inner peace, the easier it is for us to purely choose to hook into the circuitry. Some of us struggle in our attempts to recognize when we are running the circuitry only because our minds are distracted by other thoughts. This makes sense since our Western society honors and rewards the skills of our doing left brain much more than our being right brain. Thus, if you are having difficulty accessing the consciousness of your right mind circuitry, then it is probably because you have done a stupendous job learning exactly what you were taught while growing up. Congratulate yourselves for their successes and realize that, as my good friend Dr. Kat Domingo proclaims, enlightenment is not a process of learning, it's a process of unlearning. And that is the full truth, okay? It's like that's a benefit of getting older, is that nobody really can tell you what to do anymore, all right? You can make the choices for yourself because you realize that everybody's lying to themselves, okay? So the reason why they want you to believe is because they know that they're not bad people. They just had to believe the same shit that they're spouting off to you in order to have a place to fit in this world, in this economy, okay? So nobody's the enemy, all right? Since both of the hemispheres work together to generate our perception of reality on a moment-by-moment basis, we are exercising our right mind all the time. Once you learn to recognize the subtle feelings and physiology running through your body when you are connected to the circuitry of the present moment, you can then train yourself to reactivate that circuitry on demand. I'm going to share with you a variety of ways I remind myself back into the consciousness and personality of my right here, right now, peaceful right brain. The first thing I do to experience my inner peace is to remember that I am part of a greater structure, an eternal flow of energy and molecules from which I cannot be separated. See Chapter 2. Knowing that I am a part of the cosmic flow makes me feel innately safe and experience my life as heaven on earth. How can I feel vulnerable when I cannot be separated from the greater whole? My left mind thinks of me as a fragile individual capable of losing my life. Right mind realizes that the essence of my being has eternal life. Although I may lose those cells and my ability to perceive this three-dimensional world, my energy will merely absorb back into the tranquil sea of euphoria. Knowing this leaves me grateful for all the time I have here, as well as enthusiastically committed to the well-being of the cells that constitute my life. The only reason why you stress is because you have the time to do it. If you talk to people who are near death, they're trying to tell you the same thing. Don't get upset by shit, okay? You should be spending more time with people that you care about. Don't yell at the people that you care about, because you know if you really love them, you're going to feel bad right after you do it. You know that this is a fact. You know that if somebody that you care about yells at you or cuts you down in some kind of way, tries to correct you in some kind of way, you feel awful and you think about it for fucking days, right? So eliminate all that shit and just learn how to be honest with each other. Please, please. It's so easy, and we make it so dramatic and so difficult of oh my God, I will take this lie to my grave. I will take his story to my grave. It's stop doing that. It's just based on fear-based shit from when you were a child that you're going to be embarrassed. Okay. You're an adult. Stop lying. Oh my God. All right. In order to come back to the present moment, we must consciously slow down our minds. To do this, first decide you are not in a hurry. That is like a very feminine trait, okay? That is the benefit of feminine energy, is to slow down and take your time. I have been trying to learn that my whole entire life, and it is a struggle, okay? Because faster always seems like more efficient, and it's not. Your left mind may be rushing, thinking, deliberating, and analyzing, but your right mind is very mellow. Right now, besides reading this book, what are you doing? Are you running any cognitive loops in addition to reading, which I usually do? Are you watching the clock or sitting in a busy place? Become aware of your extraneous thoughts. Thank them for their service and ask them to be silent for a little while. We're not asking them to go away, just to push the pause button for a few minutes. Rest assured, they're not going anywhere. When you are ready to re-engage with your storyteller, it will jump right back online. However, if it is something that you are highly emotional about, like you're having a argument with your partner, but you're in like the separation of it and you're thinking about, I should have said that. I need to say this. I'm just going to tell them one more thing. It's like, they're not going to understand. Okay. They're not going to understand because you're just two animals trying to fight each other with your emotions. Okay. So I understand that some things occupy the mind greater than other things, like, oh, I got to pay the bills, or I have this project due at work, or whatever. Okay. Emotional stuff that gets you tied up into your emotions, it's so loud. Okay. It's so loud inside of your head. So this is why it's so essential to not even get to those places. All right. It's like, and then if you do get to one, hopefully you have plenty of practice, like with everything else that you've done, to help you go through that with a little bit less pain and a little bit more efficiency and a little bit more compassion. When we are hooked into cognitive thoughts and running mental loops, technically we're not in the present moment. We can be thinking about something that has already occurred or about something that has not yet happened. And although our body is right here, right now, our mind is somewhere else. In order to come back to the experience of the present moment, allow your consciousness to shift away from these cognitive loops that distract you from what is happening right now. If you will, think about your breathing. Since you are reading this book, then you are probably sitting in a relaxed state. Draw in a big deep breath. Go ahead. It's okay. Pull air deep into your chest and watch your belly swell. So it's supposed to go like down into your belly first and then into your chest, okay? It's belly breathing. What's going on inside your body? Is it a comfortable position? Is your stomach feeling calm or queasy? Are you hungry? How full is your bladder? Do you have a dry mouth? Do your cells feel tired or refreshed? How is your neck? Just take a pause from any distracting thoughts, and observe your life for a moment. Where are you sitting? How is the lighting? You guys get to all see this. And how do you feel about where you are sitting? Take another deep breath. And now another. And if I don't like breathe properly while I'm reading, then it makes me want to yawn. Okay. I just talked about it. Oh my God. What's up with yawning? What is it? Okay. Take another deep breath and now another. Relax into your body, soften your jaw and that furrow in your brow. Revel in the fact that in this moment, you are living, thriving human being. Let that feeling of celebration and gratitude flood your consciousness. To help me find my way back into a peaceful right mind, I look at how my body organizes information into systems and capitalize on those already established circuits. I find that paying attention to sensory information as it streams into my body is a very helpful tool. However, I don't just focus on the sensory information. I consciously hook into the psychological, physiological experience. It's so deceiving that they both start out with like the same letters, psychological and physiological, not technically, but they look the same to the brain. So it's like, that's why I slow down every time I read that. All right. Physiological experience underlying that sensory circuit. I ask myself repeatedly, how does it feel to be here doing this? Eating, drinking, and being merry is something that happens in the present moment. Our mouths contain various types of sensory receptors, permitting us the ability to not only taste different flavors, but to perceive unique textures and varied temperatures. Try observing more closely how different foods taste. Pay attention to your textures of different foods and how they feel in your mouth. What foods would you classify as fun food and why? I love chasing around little individual gelatin balls and tapioca pudding. Spaghetti is a great texture to play with too. The most fun I have with food, however, is squishing the guts out of half-frozen peas or smushing mashed potatoes between my teeth. I realize your mother probably expunged these behaviors out of your dining repertoire when you were young, but in the privacy of your own home, I'm thinking it's probably okay. It's really hard to entertain stress-inducing thoughts when you're having fun with food. Besides the physical attributes of food consumption, it is vitally important that we consider the physiological impact food has on our body and mind. Beyond the traditional focus on nutritional value, try paying attention to how select foods make your body feel. Both sugar and caffeine have me crawling out of my skin within minutes after I consume them. It's a feeling I don't like and thus try to avoid. Eating foods that contain the chemical tryptophan, milk, bananas, and turkey rapidly increase the levels of the neurotransmitter serotonin in my brain and cause me to feel mellow. I purposely choose these foods when I want to concentrate and feel calm. It's like these things are so important, okay? I have realized over time that if I eat some like refined shit, like refined bread or pasta or whatever, it's like I gave that up years ago when Atkins became a thing, when high protein, low carbs and whatever became a thing. But when I do eat something with carbohydrates in it, and I'm not saying I don't, I'm just saying that when I do eat something like a sandwich or whatever, it makes me feel tired and mad right away if I don't use that energy right away. Okay. If you are going to eat stuff like that, you need to use it as fuel immediately. That's what it's there for. It's hitting your bloodstream like within a few seconds of eating. Okay. So you need to move with it. If you think about why other countries are still like much healthier than us, it's because they take a long time eating and talking and walking and all these different things. It's like we were told to uh be like seen and not heard, and even so, like don't be seen for that long, right? And don't complain. So that I feel like is that sort of white culture that comes over from Europe to make America what it is. All right. So you have to think back about why. I don't care if people yelled at you for asking why. You have to think about, why do we do things this way? Why do I do things this way? Is this really the way that I want to do it? Or would it be more fun to sit calmly with my family and have them appreciate all the food that I took 2 hours making, instead of like them just running in to eat it in less than 5 minutes and then being right back out? Okay. In general, carbohydrates turn immediately into sugar and make my body feel lethargic and my brain spastic. Also, I don't like the way carbs spike my sugar insulin response and then leave me craving. I like the way proteins charge me up and give me energy without stimulating emotional highs and lows. You may have a different response to foods, and that's okay. A balanced diet is important, but paying attention to how you burn energy and how foods make you feel inside your skin should be a top priority. And I'm telling you, the one thing that I have learned after all these years of trying what everybody else recommends and where they have the spiritual, significant, scientific proof for what works, the only thing that has really started working for me is to like fast until I'm hungry, and then I can kind of like eat whatever the hell I want. And it's not unhealthy. It's like, or even sometimes it is unhealthy as compared to what I used to eat, but it's because my body was given time to process everything and get that like hungry feeling in the stomach where it kind of burns and feels uncomfortable. And then I let it move past that, because once you move past that, that's kind of when ketosis starts and your body utilizes old cells that don't work so well anymore. Okay. That's where your gut gets the chance to clear out and not develop like these terrible conditions. We'll have to go into it through some like other books and other times, because I am really excited to get this book done. Okay, so let's just do this. All right. One of the easiest ways to shift just about anyone's mood, for better or for worse, is through stimulation of their nose. If you are overly sensitive, life in the real world can be unbearable. Capitalizing on our noses to shift ourselves back into the present moment is easy. Light a scented candle and let vanilla, rose, or almond lift you up beyond your recollections of stress. When random smells waft past you, hook into the cognitive loop and spend quality time trying to identify the scent. Score it on a scale of 1 to 10 for pleasure or yuck. Remember to feel the physiology that underlies different scents. Let them move you into the here and now. Let me just pause real quick here from the reading to let you know that a lot of our problems are hormonal imbalances that are caused by all the things that we have in our environments that have scent now. Okay. We did not used to have all these different things that were scented, chapsticks, lip. You have to understand that chapstick now or lip gloss now is not the same as it was like 30 years ago. Okay. It's very highly processed with chemicals and all kinds of different things. And those are causing the hormonal imbalances. So what I highly recommend to you is take a glass of water and put some extract in there, like an extract of something that you like vanilla extract or anisette or something like that. Okay. And if you're going to go with candles or incense, do a little research on what they are made out of, because the best candles to burn are beeswax candles, which isn't really a wax. Okay. It's like a natural thing. Beeswax candles either unscented or with natural scents. Okay, they are expensive because the cheap stuff is bad for you. Okay, so you can make your own for much cheaper. All right, so if you do it for yourself, then you learn how to do it. Then you have a possible side skill that you can do for others. Okay. If you are having a problem with your ability to smell, then I'm a true believer that unless the circuits have been permanently severed, it's possible to increase your sensitivity. And they were recommending that after COVID. So start off with citrus scents to retrain your brain, okay? Because everybody's like losing their smell. When you purposely pay attention to the smells around you, you're sending a message to your brain saying you value the connection. If you want to improve your sense of smell, spend more time sniffing different scents and talk to your cells. Let them know you want them to improve their ability. If you are willing to change your behavior such that you spend more time consciously thinking about what you are smelling and you're willing to focus your mind on the act of smelling, then the neuronal connections will get reinforced and potentially become stronger. If you got to go to the grocery store, go to a grocery store that has those little like homeopathic oil bottles of like I can't remember a single company right now, but usually they have like a soap section. Sometimes some grocery stores have like natural soaps and aromatherapy sections, and it's a bunch of oils like patchouli and sandalwood and orange and all these different things. Go there. Smell what all those things smell like and see how they make you feel. See why they say smell lavender or use lavender to make you feel tranquil. There's actual things going on in there, okay? When it comes to vision, let me just make sure. Yeah, when it comes to vision, there are basically two ways you can use your eyes. Take a moment right now to look at the view in front of you. What do you see? I see me. Your right mind takes in the big picture. It sees the view as a whole where everything is relative. It observes the entire expanse and does not focus on any of the details. Your left mind immediately focuses on the contour of the individual objects and delineates the specific entities making up the view. When I stand on a mountaintop and let my eyes relax, my right mind takes in magnificence of the open vista. Physiologically, I feel the majesty of the overall view deep inside my being, and I'm humbled by how beautiful our planet is. I can recall this moment by either reconstructing the vision, or by recalling the feeling it elicits. My left mind is completely different. It eagerly focuses my attention on the specific types of trees, the color in the sky, and analyzes the sounds of specific birds. It discriminates the types of clouds, delineates the tree line, and registers the temperature of the air. Right now, take a pause from your reading. Close your eyes and identify 3 sounds you hear. Go ahead. All right, I can already tell you, I hear my water fountain, I hear the train rumbling by outside, and I just heard my cat running by, okay? You could hear his paws running through the house. As I sit here, oh, and there's another train going by, getting louder. As I sit here and my air purifier. It's like I have the sound of wind, I have the sound of water, I have the sound of trains, okay, and animals. Okay. What do you hear? Listen close and listen far. As I sit here in Dipper Cabin at the Rocky Ridge Music Center in the Rocky Mountains near Estes Park, my ears are privy to the gurgling sounds of a creek as it passes right outside my picture window. When I focus my mind on distant sounds, I hear bits and pieces of classical music as children practice their instruments. Focusing my ears up close, I hear the hum of the heater right here in the cabin as it warms me. All I can think of is estes, and it's like this and these have the T's. That was something that I learned in Spanish a long time, like este esta, okay, and SOS esa, right? This like this and these have the T's, so it's okay, yeah. Anyway, little language tip. Focusing my ears up close, I hear the hum of the heater right here in the cabinet as it warms me. Listening to music that you love in the absence of cognitive analysis or judgment is another great way to come back to the here and now. Let sound move you, not just emotionally, but physically. Allow your body to rock and sway and dance and play in accordance with your rhythm. Surrender your inhibitions and let your body get caught in the flow. Of course, the absence of sound can be equally as beautiful. I love putting my ears underwater in the tub to create a space of sound deprivation. I also focus on my body's gurgles when they occur and send my cells praise for their ongoing efforts. I have found that my mind is easily distracted by too much auditory stimulation, so I often work or travel with my earplugs. I believe that preventing stimulation overload in my brain is my responsibility, and earplugs have been a true sanity saver on many occasions. Do you ever do that where you put your head underwater in the tub and you can hear the vibration of people like walking through the house, it gives me anxiety because I'm like, shit, they're about to ruin my bath time, right? I haven't had a bath in years because my bathtub is, um, it just leaks a little bit. So I gotta fix it. Okay. Our largest and most diverse sensory organ is our skin. Just as our brain runs various circuits that think, experience emotion, or involve specific combinations of physiological reactivity, our skin is stippled with very specific receptors capable of detecting very specific forms of stimulation. As with our other senses, we are all unique in how sensitive we are to light, touch, pressure, heat, and cold, vibration, and pain. Some of us adapt more quickly than others. Although most of us don't spend much time thinking about our clothes after we put them on, some of us remain so sensitive that our minds obsess over their texture or weight. I thank my cells regularly for their ability to adapt to incoming stimulation. Imagine how preoccupied our minds would be all the time if we couldn't. Humor me again. If you will, take another pause from your reading. This time, close your eyes and think about how the information you are currently detecting from your skin, about the information you're currently detecting from your skin. Um, so there's like cold on my hands. There's cold. I don't know. My skin feels cold all over a little bit. That's about it. I don't know. I kind of am detached from the feeling of my body because I'm so mental, right? I'm always in my head. So I really have to take time. Yeah, I really have to take time. So anyway, humor me again and take another pause and read and close your eyes and think about the information you're currently detecting from your skin. How is the temperature of the air? What is the texture of your clothing? Softer, scratchy, light, or heavy? Is it pushing up against you? Maybe a pet or a pillow. Just think about your skin for a moment. Can you feel your watch and those glasses on your nose? How about your hair draping on your shoulder? From the therapeutic perspective, there is perhaps nothing more intimate than touch, be it physical connection with another human, a furry friend, or even your household plants. The physical benefits of nurturing and being nurtured are priceless. Simply taking a shower and feeling the water splashing upon your body is a great way to jolt yourself back into the present moment. Feeling the pressure of the water against your skin by taking a bath or playing in a pool is excellent light pressure and temperature stimulation. Allow these forms of activity the power to lull you back into here and now. Train yourself to pay closer attention to when your different circuits are stimulated. As you do, you encourage them to function. Deep body massage is great for another number of reasons. Not only does it help relieve tension in your muscles, but it also increases the movement of your fluids in your cellular environment. The internal world of your body is how your cells obtain information or obtain nutrition and clear their waste. I enthusiastically support any type of stimulation that increases their standard of living. I have got to tell you, if you were traumatized when you were young by like having to go and see a lot of doctors, or by having sexual abuse or any kind of thing, or like having parents that wouldn't like hug you or say I love you, and not to say that they're mean, this is just very normal American ways of life where they taught people to raise their kids in a separate room. Okay, that is not how I raised my children. I knew how wrong it was. I like held my babies while they slept. They never had cribs. Okay, you're not made for that. I am. That's fine. Okay, that is the safest way. Do you remember SIDS? Do you remember the thing termed SIDS? But I'm just telling you that a lot of people have reactions to touch that you would not expect. And that's because they've been, I don't know. I can only tell you that my experience is because I was like sexually harassed a lot because I had precocious puberty. So I learned to tune out touch because my doctors were touching me all the time from the point at which I was like 5 until 12, always checking me for my puberty. Okay. So I cannot get a massage. I tried for a couple of times to sit down for massages. Some people, if they try to touch me, I kind of like tense up, and like I punched my husband in the face one time because he was standing in front of me watching me while I slept. And well, this was like my first husband and a long time ago. He thought it was funny. It's not funny, okay? Because there's very few people that I let near me, and that's just because it's a natural reaction. So when I saw him so close, I just like, even though I was asleep, I woke up and punched him in the face, and I don't think it was very hard. But you have to understand that because the skin is such a high sensory organ, um, it it can kind of detect some things from far away. So like people who don't like being touched, they might be jumpy where you think that you can put your hand on them to calm them down. You have to know that just because there's facts about the skin and how, how it functions, you can't treat everybody as if they had the same upbringing or the same experience in life. Okay. So yeah, It's like when I want to feel things, emotions connected to my skin, I get tattoos. It's got to be like harsh and painful in order for me to allow that feeling, because tender touch, I've been really heavily emotionally and mentally abused by people in my past. So I have tender touch associated with abuse. Okay. It's like, I'm just telling you facts right now. These are things that I have to work through. And yet I love my children so much. I touch them as much as possible, squeeze them, hug them, let them know the difference between loving touch, like intimate touch. Do you understand? You have to teach these things to your kids, or they're going to learn out in the streets with fools that they run into, like in school and whatever. You have to teach people what is right and what is not through example, not through talking to them about it. Okay. Um, all right, Brianna's gonna let me just pause it so I can get back to where I was at. Okay. Just so you know, I have tried to work on the massage thing because my sister got this massager and I just thought it was like gonna shake, but it has these things in it that move as if it's hands. And I tried it and it made me want to throw up and cry immediately. And so I thought, like, I like to challenge myself for things. So I tried it a second time. I'm like, nah, I got this. If she's figured it out, then I can do it too. And she like told me she really had to pull down on the thing to like make herself not reject it. And eventually she got there. So maybe eventually I can get there. But I tried it a second time and I had to I had to almost throw it off of me because it made me want to cry and panic and run so bad from a massager. You have to understand that not everybody, the things that calm some people down are not the things that calm other people down. That's why I smoke cigarettes. It keeps me young. It keeps me um stress free. Okay. It's a stress processor for me and I love it. All right. One of my favorite ways of using touch to come back to the here and now is through raindrops. Walking in the rain is a multidimensional experience that moves me deeply. Drops of water spattering in my face instantly shift me into the beauty and innocence of my right mind as I feel enveloped by a deep sense of purification. Feeling the warmth of the sunshine upon my face or the kiss of a breeze on my cheek also connects me directly with a part of myself that feels at one with all that is. I absolutely love staying on the ocean ridge with my arms spread wide, ocean edge, with my arms spread wide, flying in the breeze. By remembering the smells, sounds, tastes, and how I felt deep inside, I can transport myself back to nirvana in an instant. The more attention we pay to the details of how things look, sound, taste, smell, feel against our skin, and feel physiologically inside of our body, the easier it is for our brain to recreate any environment. Replacing unwanted thoughts patterns with the vivid imagery can help us shift our consciousness back toward the deep inner peace, our deep inner peace. Although it's great use to our senses to rebuild and experience, I believe the real power in experiential recreation is located in our ability to remember what the underlying physiology feels like. It's impossible for me to end this section on the use of sensory stimulation to bring one into the present moment. Sorry, I thought there was like a little spider on my book. It is just a fuzzy. And not touch on the subjects of energy dynamics and intuition. For those of you who have very sensitive right hemispheres, I know you understand what I'm talking about. At the same time, I appreciate that for many of us, if our left mind cannot smell it, taste it, hear it, see it, or touch it, then we are skeptical as to whether or not it exists. Our right brain is capable of detecting energy beyond the limitations of our left mind because of the way it's designed. I hope your level of discomfort about such things as energy dynamics and intuition has decreased as you have increased your understanding about the fundamental differences in the way our two hemispheres collaborate to create our single perceptions of reality. My whole channel is about how intuitive I am and how I use that to get through this world, because I'm not vibing on the same plane that most other people are. It's like, it's exhausting. It is exhausting to be out there in this world of shallowness. Okay. I am primarily an earth sign. I'm a Capricorn, and that's very, very important to me. It means that I prefer to be grounded. I prefer to be working hard. I prefer to be like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it at the best standard that I can possibly do. That's just the only thing that makes sense. It's not because I'm a goody goody. It's because it's what makes sense. I feel good when I can touch nature, when I can touch stuff that feels like if I don't use this properly, it could be dangerous to me, right? not every plant is a plant just because it's safe. Not every plant is safe just because it's a plant. Like poison ivy, okay? Like, do you know? It's like you touch poison ivy, it feels like a plant. But what it does to you is not the same as what like a four-leaf clover is going to do to you. Okay? It is dangerous. Rocks are dangerous. But I have no comfort in like natural bodies of water unless I can like see down to the bottom and I can touch the surface that I'm walking on. So I am also highly uh like a fire sign because my rising sign is Sagittarius. It's a fire sign. So I need pain. I need burn. I need that kind of stuff to get my adrenaline flowing. Okay. I am like a pepperhead, right? So if you know these people, they just seem like risk takers to you. I'm telling you, it's because they're craving to have feeling in this world. And that's how they have to do it. It's by like grounding. If they're an earth person, then they need that. If they are, a fire person, like a fire sign person, they probably really need the burn of pain. Tattoos, I freaking love them. Getting my hands close to fires and messing around with fires, I've always loved that. Smoking, I love the burn. I will never be a vapor, right? Okay, hang on. Remembering that we are energy beings designed to perceive and translate energy into neural code may help you become more aware of your own energy dynamics and intuition. Can you sense the mood of a room when you first walk in? I know you can. I know you can. Even if you don't think that you can. That's all I can sense. I can sense it before I even get there. Okay. Ever wonder why you seem to be content one minute and then fraught with fear the next? Our right hemisphere is designed to perceive and decipher the subtle energy dynamics we perceive intuitively. You ever like walked in and said hello to somebody that normally they're like happy to see you and they're like, go fuck yourself, right? It's like we are not stagnant, one-dimensional beings, okay? Since this stroke, I steer my life almost entirely by paying attention to how people, places, and things feel to me energetically. In order to hear the intuitive wisdom of my right mind, however, I must consciously slow my left mind down. So I am not simply carried along on the current of my chatty storyteller. Intuitively, I don't question why I'm subconsciously attracted to some people and situations, and yet repelled by others. I simply listen to my body and implicitly trust my instincts. At the same time, with the dope rhymes that I kick, and I know it's Dr. Dre, sorry. Okay. At the same time, my right mind completely honors the phenomenon of cause and effect. In a world of energy where everything influences everything, it seems naive for me to disregard the insights of my right mind. If I'm shooting a bow and arrow, for example, I don't just focus on the target's bullseye, but I trace the path between the arrow tip and the center of the target. I visualize the perfect amount of force exerted by my muscles as they pull back the arrow and focus my mind on the fluidity of the process rather than the finality of the end product. I find that when my perception is expanded and I imagine the experience, my accuracy is increased. If you're involved in sports, you have the power to choose how you want to perceive yourself in relationship to your target or goal. You can see yourself as separate. You position at spot A and your target at spot Z. You can see yourself at one with the target and in the flow with all the atoms and molecules in the space between. Dude, basketball players do it all the time. Golfers do it all the time. You are watching them do it. That is how they do it. It's manifestation, but it's also physics, okay? Our right brain perceives the big picture and recognizes that everything around us, about us, among us, and within us is made up of energy particles that are woven together into a universal tapestry. Since everything is connected, there is an intimate relationship between the atomic space around you and within me, and the atomic space around and within you. Regardless of where we are on the energetic level, if I think about you, send good vibrations your way, hold you in the light, or pray for you, then I am consciously sending my energy to you with a healing intention. If I meditate over you and lay my hands upon your wound, then I am purposely directing the energy of my being to help you heal. How the arts of Reiki, feng Shui, acupuncture, and prayer, to mention only a few, work remain pretty much with much medical mystery. This is mostly because our left brains and science have not yet successfully caught up with what we already understand to be true about how our right hemisphere functions. However, I believe your right minds are perfectly clear about how they intuitively perceive and interpret energy dynamics. Science is the last to catch up, always, 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 always. Read the 91st Psalm. Read stories about survival based on the 91st Psalm. Read anything by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Read anything by Dr. Bruce Lipton, or like listen to them speaking. They're going to tell you the exact same thing. Listen to like anybody who has to train mentally as well as doing something physically, like anybody who's into like martial arts and things like that. It's so fucking important. You guys need to understand, I am a Reiki master, and it sounds silly, but it's like this stuff is so important and it's so true, and you already freaking know it, okay? You already know it. That's what prayer is. It's positive intention for somebody that you love and that you have an emotional connection to. If you lack the emotional connection, then you do not move the energy, okay? You can't. You cannot heal somebody just by thinking about them. You have to take time to make the prayer, and then it's infinite. Prayer energy, it's infinite, okay? So it's out there as a pocket of healing energy for all those who need it, and especially that person. That person's going to vibe and heal from that you are thinking about, okay? All right. But if you're using anger, if you're wishing something and you're feeling anger, you are cursing somebody, okay? That is a curse. That's an old school, witchy, devilish curse, okay? When people talk about that, that's what it actually is. You are guilty of it, okay? All right, I'm going to try to teach you how not to be. Shifting away from the subject of sensory systems, we can also use the skills of our motor output systems to shift our perspective into the here and now. Purposely relaxing muscles and routinely hold tense can help you release pent up energy and feel better. Smoke weed. It'll help you realize what you've got tensed up, okay? I'm constantly checking in with the tension in my forehead, and inevitably, if I can't fall asleep at night, I consciously loosen my jaw and then proceed to pass right out. Thinking about what's going on with your muscles is a great way to pull your mind back into the present. Systematically squeezing and then relaxing them may help you come back to the here and now. Lots of people use movement and exercise to shift their minds. Yoga, Feldenkrais, I don't know what it is, but she had mentioned it earlier, and Tai Chi are awesome tools for personal development, relaxation, and growth. Non-competitive sports are also a great way to get you back into your body and out of your left brain. Also, jujitsu, grappling, Krav Maga are excellent ways to get you out of your brain and into your body, uh, and back and forth again, because you have to calm yourself down or you will get choked out right away, okay? It is one of the best ways that you can use your brain and body together and help to increase the stress that your limbic system can handle before it just does fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. Walking in nature, singing, creating, and playing music, or getting lost in the arts can easily shift your perspective back to the present moment. Another avenue for shifting one's focus away from the churning loops of our left cognitive mind is through purposely using our voice to interrupt those looping patterns of thought that we find distressful or distracting. I find that using repetitious sound patterns, such as a mantra, which literally means place to rest the mind, is very helpful. By breathing deep and repeating the phrase, "In this moment, I reclaim my joy," or "In this moment, I am perfect, whole, beautiful," and or "I am innocent and a peaceful child of the universe," I shift back into the consciousness of my right mind. Or just sing a song that is a positive song. You have to understand that you are training your brain through the songs that you sing. And if you're always talking about like sad things and broken hearts, you are claiming that as your own, and then you are going to gain it and reflect it in your environment. If you are listening to like real positive music or like boss bitches, like if you don't like Megan Thee Stallion and people like that, it's just because you're intimidated by her. You're not understanding how powerful she is and how smart she is. She went to college. Her mother was a rapper. She was taught how to rap. She is one of the best freestyle rappers. And she is like old school, like 1990s rap. Okay. So I'm saying you got to have positive influences. It's not just a mantra. Who thinks a mantra is cool? Okay. If it's not you think that you could walk through high school just singing, saying peace within, peace within, peace within, and everybody's going to be okay with that? Nah, you got to like find positive music to sing. Okay. I absolutely love vocal tuning and sound with sounding bowls. These are large bowls made of exquisite quartz crystal. When stroked, the bowls resonate so powerfully. It's like you're rubbing this like, oh, I don't have one here right now, but it's like a wand that you sort of like move around the bowl and it makes it vibrate and sing. Okay. So powerfully that I can feel the vibration right down into my bones. That is healing through sound vibration. My worries don't stand a chance at hanging on to my mind when the sounding bowls are in play. You don't think that sound can heal? Try screaming the word fuck. Okay. Just scream, cry, there's healing energies going on. I also draw angel cards several times a day to help me stay focused on what I believe is important in life. The original angel cards come in sets of assorted sizes, with each card having a single word written on them. Every morning, when I first get up, I ritualistically invite an angel into my life and draw a card. I then focus my attention on that particular angel throughout my day. If I'm feeling stressed or I have an important phone call to make, I will often draw another angel to help me shift my mind. I'm always in the quest of being open to what the universe will bring me. I use the angel cards to shift me back into a state of being generous of spirit, as I really like what I attract when I'm open. Some of the angels include enthusiasm, abundance, education, clarity, integrity, play, freedom, responsibility, harmony, grace, and birth. Drawing angels is one of the simplest and most effective tools I have found to help me shift my mind out of the left hemisphere's judgment. If I had to pick out one output, action, word for my right mind, I would have to choose compassion. I encourage you to ask yourself, what does it mean to you to be compassionate? Under what circumstances are you inclined to be compassionate? And what does compassion feel like inside of your body? Generally, most of us are compassionate with those we see as our equals. The less attached we are to our ego's inclinations for superiority, the more generous of spirit we can be with others. When we are being compassionate, we consider another circumstance with love rather than judgment. We see a homeless person or a psychotic person and approach them with an open heart rather than fear, disgust, or aggression. Think about the last time you reached out to someone or something with genuine compassion. How did it feel inside your body? To be compassionate is to move into the right here, is to move to the right here, right now, with an open heart, consciousness, and a willingness to be supportive. If I had to choose one word to describe the feeling I feel at the core of my right mind, I would have to say joy. My right mind is thrilled to be alive. I experience a feeling of awe when I consider that I am simultaneously capable of being at one with the universe, while having an individual identity whereby I move into the world and manifest positive change. If you have lost your ability to experience joy, rest assured the circuitry is still here. It is simply being inhibited by more anxious or fearful circuitry. How I wish you could lose your emotional baggage, just like I did, and shift back and go watch the tarot reading that I put up. Okay. I was talking about the Eight of Cups, and that is like letting go of emotional baggage. All right. She's talking about pulling angel cards. This is why tarot cards are so good. Carl Jung really goes into like the importance of them. Okay. How I wish you could lose your emotional baggage just like I did and shift back into your natural state of joy. The secret to hooking into any of those peaceful states is the willingness to stop the cognitive loops of thought, worry, and any ideas that distract us from the kinesthetic and sensory experience of being in the here and now. Most important, however, our desire for peace must be stronger than our attachment to our misery, our ego, our need to be right. I love that old saying. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Personally, I really like the way happy feels inside my body, and therefore I choose to hook into that circuitry on a regular basis. I often wondered if it's a choice, then why would anyone choose anything other than happiness? I can only speculate, but my guess is that many of us simply do not realize that we have a choice and therefore don't exercise our ability to choose. Before my stroke, I thought I was a product of my brain and had no idea that I had some say about how I responded to the emotions surging through me. On an intellectual level, I realized I could monitor and shift my cognitive thoughts, but it never dawned on me that I had somehow that I had some say in how I perceived my emotions. No one told me that it only took 90 seconds for my biochemistry to capture and then release me. What an enormous difference this awareness has made in how I live my life. Another reason many of us may not choose happiness is because when we feel intense negative emotions like anger, jealousy, or frustration, we are actively running complex circuitry in our brain that feels so similar or that feels so familiar that we feel strong and powerful. It's the biggest lie that our mind will do. Okay. I have known people who consciously choose to exercise their anger circuitry on a regular basis simply because it helps them remember what it feels like to be themselves. That's why you take that energy and go and be a fighter, a trained fighter. Okay. It's just easy. It's just as easy for me to habitually run the happiness circuit as it is for me to run the anger circuit. In fact, from a biological perspective, happiness is the natural state of being for my right mind. As such, the circuitry is constantly running and is always available for me to tap into. My anger circuit, on the other hand, does not always run, but it can be triggered when I experience some sort of threat. As soon as the physiological response has passed out of my bloodstream, I can resume my joy. Ultimately, everything we experience is a product of our cells and their circuitry. Once you have tuned into how different circuits feel inside of your body, then you can pick and choose how you want it to be in the world. I personally feel allergic to how fear and or anxiety in my body, or whatever, you know what I mean. When these emotions surge through me, I feel so uncomfortable. I want to crawl out of my skin. But because I don't like the way these emotions feel physiologically, I am not inclined to hook into the circuitry on a regular basis. My favorite definition of fear is false expectations appearing real. And when I allow myself to remember that all of my thoughts are merely fleeting physiology, I feel less moved when my storyteller goes haywire and my circuitry is triggered. At the same time, when I remember that I am one with the universe, then the concept of fear loses its power to help protect myself from having a trigger happy anger or fear response. I take responsibility for what circuitry I purposely exercise and stimulate. In an attempt to diminish the power of my fear anger response, I initially choose not to watch the scary movies or hang out with the people whose anger circuitry is easily set off. I consciously make choices that directly impact my circuitry. Since I like being joyful, I hang out with people who value my joy. As I mentioned earlier, physical pain is a physiological phenomenon that is specifically designed to alert our brain that tissue damage has occurred somewhere in the body. It's important we realize that we are capable of feeling physical pain without hooking into the emotional loop of suffering. I am reminded of how courageous little children can be when they become extremely ill. Their parents may hook into the emotional circuitry of suffering and fear, while the child seems to be adapting to his illness without the same negative emotional drama. To experience pain may not be a choice, but to suffer is a cognitive decision. When children are ill, it is often more difficult for the child to handle parental grief than it is for the child to endure the illness. That's fucking true. Okay. The same can be true for anyone who is ill. Please be very careful what circuits you stimulate when you visit someone who is not well. Are you okay? How are you doing? No, it's like, bro, tell me about what you're going through. You are as strong as fuck. All right. Death is a natural process we all experience. Just realize that deep inside your right mind, deep within your heart's consciousness, rests eternal peace. The easiest way I've found to humble myself back into a state of peaceful grace is through the act of gratitude. When I am simply grateful, life is simply great. That's chapter 19. All right, let's get on to the last one. I love you guys. I'll see you right around the corner.